I think what you said on the technology is spot on here as well. Tesla has said, they're kind of in the middle of two waves of mass market growth. And I think the Cybertruck is allowing them to have a profitable platform for R&D that's going to go into future vehicles. Cybertruck, clearly a marketing machine. People, anywhere it goes, people are flocking. It doesn't even say Tesla on it, just says Cybertruck, but people know what it is because it's so bold. The ads, the towing a Porsche 911 and beating it in the 0 to 60 was probably one of the greatest ads. I'm sure we'll see some nice Twitter threads, X threads with that in 10 years time, looking back and saying, this was a...
Well, uncertain, there might be a mystery behind the Cybertruck that people are ignoring. The unveiling of the Cybertruck has left the world in awe and speculation about what the future holds for the automaker. It's got a futuristic design and impressive features, and it is not hard to be captivated by this electric beast. But what if the Cybertruck is more than just a re-evolutionary vehicle? What if it's a glimpse into Tesla's plans to release a more affordable? If you think that the Cybertruck may be an indicator that Tesla is preparing to launch a $25 zero EV that will soon hit the market and revolutionize the EV industry, even more could be a signal that Tesla stock is about to experience a record-breaking surge that will take the entire stock market by storm.
$115,000 car, and we know people want it, so we'll take that and then lower it. But they're really coming out in the midst of where the competitors are. Specifically, you look at the Rivian, that's priced around $79,000. The Ford Lightning is around $79,000. The all-wheel drive Cybertruck coming in at just under $80,000. And if you look at average transaction prices for full-size pickups, it's like $66,000, and for full-size SUVs, it's $77,900. So it does seem to be in this sweet spot. I think what you said on the technology is spot on here as well. Tesla has said, they're kind of in the middle of two waves of mass market growth. And I think the Cybertruck is allowing them to have a profitable platform for R&D that's going to go into future vehicles. And so the big ones here, steer-by-wire is pretty remarkable. And so just, if you don't know what that is, if you're turning, I'll bring my hands nice up and close here. If you're making a sharp turn in a normal car, right, you're going hand over hand, turning the wheel. With steer-by-wire, it's essentially dynamic. So going like this turns as sharp as possible when you're going at slow speeds. And then at fast speeds, it adjusts so you're not zigzagging like crazy. So that's pretty novel.
I think another way to, instead of steer, it's called steer by wire because you no longer have the mechanical interconnection between the steering wheel and the wheels, but it's really computational steering because also the back wheels turn also. If you're on the highway and you steer, kind of the front wheels and the back wheels actually turn in the same direction to like allow you to drift across to the new lane really efficiently. Whereas if you're going at slow speeds, the back wheels go this way and the front wheels go this way. So you can get that tight turning radius. And so kind of the people described it as it's almost like the car understands better what you're trying to do by turning the steering wheel rather than it just being like I'm mechanically doing this thing, but it kind of like is misaligned with my actual intention when driving the vehicle. So I think like computational steering and also, braking soon, they still are doing wired braking, I think, but it seems like all of the controls will be abstracted out to, even like in an emergency event, if you brake, there's right now automatic emergency braking that actually fully depresses it to the floor because people have this bias where they only brake a little bit and they should brake a lot harder. But you can imagine if that's all computationally controlled, it actually will really map to the intended action of the user, adjusting for whatever biases the average user might have more completely.
And another good example, it's the future of vehicles is software, not mechanical, right? And this is kind of a very clear application of that.
Tesla has always been at the forefront of innovation, pushing limits and redefining what is possible in the automotive industry. The S and 3 have proved Tesla's leadership in the EV market, and now the Cybertruck, making waves on social media and making headlines worldwide. This unique electric pickup truck may be an indicator that Tesla is ready for another groundbreaking step. Tesla may be using it to build excitement for its upcoming cheaper EV. Welcome back to our channel. The frenzy surrounding Tesla's $25,000 EV is hard to contain until Elon Musk makes official pronouncements. Based on history, we should expect innovation and disruption from Tesla, making the future bright for Tesla lovers and investors, especially given the impact of these upgrades on Tesla. As investors eagerly await news about new product releases and market expansion plans, the unveiling of an innovative vehicle like the Cybertruck could drive up stock prices, and a cheaper EV could send Tesla stock through the roof. So, what are the possibilities of getting a cheap EV? Keep watching to learn.
Their big advancements here that they're unveiling is the 48-volt architecture. So that's good from a efficiency and wiring standpoint. And then it also sounds like what they talked about at Investor Day with how they're planning future wiring harnesses and manufacturing is being somewhat deployed in the Cybertruck, which is you're really reducing the wiring harness, and it sounded like going to more of an Ethernet based control system, continuing to go further verticalized into these end parts of the vehicle that again allow them to do these firmware updates beyond what was ever imagined possible. So it's not just windshield wiper, who knows how far they will go with the firmware update capability.
And I think this also illustrates the degree to which Tesla, some of these innovations you actually can't do without doing other innovations at the same time. So the whole auto industry is subject to this kind of like chicken egg problem of it's like, we need our suppliers to do this so that we can do this, so that we can make this decision. Like, I think steer by wire is possible only because of the new voltage system they moved to, because you actually need to have kind of like powerful enough motors on the steering mechanism that would be prohibitive on a 12-volt system to run. And so kind of like there's a degree to which when technology is a new technology platform, having like as much control over the entire technology stack as possible is really important, because or else you end up in these scenarios where you can't get everybody to make the decision to do the logical move all at once. If you have a bunch of like kind of like farmed out suppliers, and that's what traditional auto has faced. Like they all recognize that steer by wire is something that they should do. They all recognize that 48 volts is something they should do, but how do they convince all of their tier one suppliers to like transition over at the same time as them, at the same time as all of their competitors? And Tesla's big enough in the marketplace now in terms of its vehicle programs that it can compel some suppliers that it needs to transition over, and then it can design the spec and kind of engineer themselves right up against what the specification is. And so the net is they end up with a more efficient vehicle. And that's like, it's no surprise to me that they priced the vehicle where they did. That's where, that's the clearing cost for a vehicle with these kinds of specs. And actually they're spec superior to certainly the Lightning and the Rivian. I think if you're honestly accounting for all of the performance that they're delivering. And because they are all the way in on this new architecture, they should have a steeper cost decline in terms of their ability to manufacture these technologies over time. And so we don't know what the gross profitability on the Cybertruck is going to be starting out, and it'll be really sensitive to the ramp of the program. But there's definitely reason to believe if they stay at this price point, all competitors stay at this price point, they will be like much more profitable for these vehicles relative to competitors because of the way they're set up and pursuing these new technologies.
Let us know your evaluation of Tesla. And if you want to know more about what Tesla has been up to over the last few days, go ahead and subscribe our channel.